Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs. Yeah. Cabby, Taj. Woo!
Connecticut.
Yes. Welcome to another edition of the Pu-Pu Platter here exclusively on the Sports City Chefs YouTube channel. I am your host, The Villain. I haven't done a Pu-Pu Platter in a while, but there's so many things to talk about. The Villain's got to get to it. As I always say, though, like, comment, subscribe to our videos, our channel, so that you can get more content from the chefs. Myself, Aaron Sirius Simmons, all the chefs, Dave Jets. We got a lot of great stuff coming your way. So I'll start with the obvious news of the firing of Joe Judge. The Giants on Tuesday, word came out that Joe Judge was fired. He was relieved of his duties. It's going to be a wholesale changes. That's the day after Dave Gettleman, quote unquote, retired. The statement that came out from ownership, Steve Tisch and John Mara. Steve and I both believe it is in the best interest of our franchise to move on in another direction. We met with Joe yesterday afternoon to discuss the state of the team. I met again with Joe this afternoon, that being Tuesday. And it was during that conversation I informed Joe of our decision. We appreciate Joe's effort on our behalf and the organization. He goes on to say, I stated before the season started that I wanted to feel good about the direction we were headed when we played our last game of the season. Unfortunately, I cannot make that statement, which is why we have made this decision. We will hire a general manager, and that person will lead the effort to hire a new head coach. Listen, Joe Judge gave the ownership no choice. Gave him no choice but to fire him. I thought the wheels started to come off after the Kansas City Chiefs game when he complained about the headsets not working, and it kind of slowly deteriorated. His comments about not being a clown organization, his 11-minute rant ruffled some feathers. Ron Rivera, who's a respected coach in this league, it just got more bizarre, and there was no way you can keep him on. Even though he had a solid first season, something you could build on, I felt like the team regressed. But I got to be fair. He was dealt a terrible hand, right? Dave Gettleman should not have been the GM. Dave Gettleman should have been fired. When Shermer was fired, but they kept Gettleman, let him pick a new coach. And while Judge might be a good coach, it just was a bad situation. They should have ripped the Band-Aid off with both guys 2 years ago. They didn't when they fired Shermer. And I look at it at that point where he had a poorly constructed roster, no cap space, a quarterback that we're not really sure on, an offensive line that only has one good lineman. They didn't even have enough cap space to fill the 53-man team. So then it was just a bad hand that Joe Judge was dealt, and then the injuries hit. So, I give him a lot of I give him credit for trying, but, I think he talked himself out of the job when everything kind of came to a head. So Joe Judge is out. The Giants' head coaching search is now on the table after they look for a GM. They will interview Scone today, and then they have more people that they're going to be interviewing. Switching gears, this is like a New York minute, right? Now we're talking about the New York Knicks. Right now, one game below 500. Heading into their game against the Dallas Mavericks today at 7:30 without Kristaps Porzingis, who was hurt, who's missed, I think, 13 or 14 games. I think a little bit more this year, averaging a little over 20 points, but missing a game due to being in COVID protocols. The word is out of New York. What's the talk of the town? Julius Randle and his thumbs down and the shut the F up message to the fans. It's a bad look for him. And then he doubled down on it, kind of, with the press conference yesterday, basically saying, I already addressed the situation when the media kept asking him about how his relationship is with the fans and he apologized and all that kind of stuff. He just didn't, if he just will come out, apologize, and stay apologetic and not be in his feelings. These players are so sensitive. Kendrick Perkins of ESPN fame says it right. The players in these days are too sensitive. He doesn't get it. And listen, everybody gets booed in New York. His play has been poor. He's not. He hasn't built on his most improved and all-star appearance last year. He's actually regressed a little bit. The offense has been stagnant. He holds the ball. Listen, they got him help. In the offseason to alleviate some of that ball holding and dribble. Bringing in Kemba and Evan Fournier. It didn't work because I don't think because Kemba can't play, because when Kemba came back, he played very well after being benched. It didn't work because of Julius Randle. Julius Randle is averaging 19 points again, 10 rebounds. His numbers are down from last year, but the offense is stagnant. He forces up wild shots. He was hitting them last year. He's not hitting them this year. He's struggling. And the fans want to boo. They can boo. That's their job. That's what they're right. It's your job to overcome that and win them back over. Patrick Ewing, probably one of the greatest Knicks of all time, has been booed here. He's been booed a lot. And you know what? He's overcome it. He's definitely one of those guys that when he comes back into the Garden, he's respected, he's loved, he's revered. So Julius Randle's got to get it together. I mean, they're in the lean part of their schedule, coming off a big win against the Spurs, where he only had 2 points. But R.J. Barrett, 31 points, looked aggressive, looked to take over the basketball game. They need more of that from R.J. Barrett. Julius has got to come up, and he's got to play within the game, let the game come to him a little bit more. I think he's trying to force the issue, which is probably part of the problem why his numbers are down. But, I mean, the fact that he can't play with a point guard is a problem for me. Listen, it's going to get better for him. It's going to get better in New York. He went from being a toast of the town last year to being not a villain. I don't think he's a villain. There were some boos in the Spurs game, but he has to earn it back, and I think being contrite is the way to do it. So I think if he can do it, he'll win the crowd back, and he'll win the fans back. The Knicks right there in the playoff hunt. This is when they need to start to turn it on before the All-Star break, and it's a good time to do it. News coming out of baseball, not a lot. The lockout is going on still. But major news, I want to give props. Rachel Balkovec, 34 years old, promoted to the New York Yankees low A minor league affiliate as the manager, becoming the first woman hired to manage a minor league affiliate team in baseball. She's qualified. She's been a hitting coach with the Yankees since 2019. She was, I think, the first woman with that full-time job in a baseball affiliate. So she goes back to 2012. She started in the Cardinals organization. She was a former softball catcher. She's qualified, and congratulations to her, paving the way in baseball for more females to move up the ranks. I'm not sure if they will eventually get into break in as a player, but if this is a pathway as a manager, I'm all for it. She seems very qualified. I don't have a lot of info on her, but at the Tampa Tarpons are going to be happy to have her, and I'm happy for her and for women in the workplace in baseball. So congratulations to her. One last note. The New York Jets, I just got word they raised their ticket prices 3%. You got to pay a little bit more on top of those PSL Jet fans to get into the stadium and watch your beloved Jets. To be fair, this is the first time they've raised their ticket prices since 2016. It is inflation. It's been they've kind of held it down, which is something good for them. I think teams have been raising their prices on average about 5% the last couple years. This is the first time they've did it in almost 6 years. But, you got to pay more to see a better product. Listen, at the end of the day, when you evaluate the two New York teams, if you look at the Jets and you look at the Giants, the Jets probably are in a lot better. They are in a lot better position than the Giants are. With their head coaching with Robert Saleh, with their general manager Joe Douglas, they have a quarterback that they just drafted who I think they believe in Zach Wilson. They have a lot of cap space. and they got a lot of draft picks. So the two things that the Giants have, only thing they have going for them is a lot of draft picks right now. They have a lot of questions at quarterback. They have questions with their running back in Saquon. Do they bring him back or not? They don't have any cap space to speak of. So the Jets are a better situation right now. I think the Jets are on a path quicker to get relevant than the Giants are. But it remains to see if the Jets can get to prosperity. But they have a lot of things they need to do, mainly getting weapons around Zach Wilson, and I think getting offensive line help for him to keep him upright. I think the defense is improving. They're going to get better there, but I think they need to do a little bit more on defense to get some playmakers too as well. So, but I think they're in a better situation. They're heading, I think they improved their win total, obviously, but you look at where they were, the Adam Gase era, the blank stare into space till now, even though Salah had some poor performances this year, I think for the most part, the Jets are in a good spot. But that's the Pu-Pu Platter. Thank you for listening. Listen, get to the website, sportscitychefs.com. We have a lot of shows. We have the Crossover Cafe. We have the Callers Cookout tonight. We have a lot of good content coming. We got articles. We got everything you need. Like and subscribe to our channel to get more content. And like I said, we all say, tell a friend to tell a friend, it's the chefs again. If they don't know, now they know.
Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs. Yeah. Cabby, Taj. Woo!
Connecticut.